My guest today is Sarah Hepola, the former personal essays editor at Salon.com. Her writing has been published by so many different organizations: the New York Times Magazine, the New Republic, Elle, Glamour, The Guardian, and Slate. And her memoir is Blackout: Remembering the Things I Drank to Forget. She spoke about the book at New Mexico State University, and we are very pleased to have her with us today.
So, I'm not here to tell you how to drink tonight, because I really believe that is your decision. But I do want to tell you the role that alcohol played in my life, and how it connected me to other people, but how it eventually left me feeling very estranged. See, my belief is that alcohol is neither good nor bad, but it has the potential for both. Alcohol can boomerang on a person. It can boomerang on you in the course of a night, as some of you may already know, or in the course of a lifetime, as was the case for me. You know, for me, one of the fundamental experiences of being a blackout drinker was waking up the next morning. And some of the things I would ask, I'd wake up and it would be like, am I in my own bed? Because sometimes I wasn't. Sometimes I was in somebody else's bed, but I was also on a couch somewhere or on the floor, or, I would just be in strange places. Am I alone? Are there any bruises on my body? There were these things. It was almost like the things that an EMT asks when they come to a scene. I was having to ask them about myself. I did not know what I had done the night before. And so when I say that I was scared all the time, A, I was scared at what I had done when I was drinking. But B, I was scared that someone was going to take this thing away from me, and then how was I going to live? That's the thing that when you get to the end and you've had this solution all your life and somebody's telling you it's a problem, you don't want to hear that. You want to keep hanging on to this thing because it's the thing that's fixed you all those years. And it took a very long time and a lot of pain for me to realize that that wasn't fixing me anymore. By the end of my drinking career, I couldn't stand myself. I didn't want to reveal myself. I wanted to disappear. And I think that, this is tied up with the subhead, remembering the things I drank to forget. I think you're always trying to forget things, and then towards the end of a drinking life, you're trying to kind of erase yourself. There is a very powerful line that says, alcohol is like suicide for a night. I remember reading that in the comment section to one of my stories and being so taken aback by it, having a really visceral response to it. I think there's so much truth in that. It's a temporary stopping of the world and your feelings and your pain in it. I hear from a lot of people that don't even drink, but they relate to the stories about being a woman or being very insecure or feeling unsure of your worth or your value, all those things. The stuff that for me was really underneath the drinking. You fear people's judgment, but what I got so much in response was understanding. And I think that's been the really amazing experience of going around to these different places. Every new city that I go into, it's always like a new party. It's like, am I going to know anybody there? Are they going to like me? Will what I say be interesting to them? I get scared. I have all those human emotions. And oftentimes what I feel when I sit down across from another human being is the connection that we have as people, and I think that is the beautiful part of being human, is that we make ourselves vulnerable. But I think the most important reason that people drink so much in college is that it's a social connector. Alcohol can be like an 80-proof bottle of belonging. Many of us show up to college with these private fears and insecurities, and you have to find a whole new social circle, and you have to find out who you are, and it's scary. And drinking gives you a sense of being a part of, which I believe as humans is what we want more than anything else. Drinking culture looks different on every campus, but last week there was a report on drinking stats across the country, and the #1 drinking city in New Mexico, want to guess? Was Las Cruces. Yeah. So I should say, I think there is a fantasy in Hollywood or in drinkers have it themselves that they're just going to wake up one day and stop. And I know that some people do that. I woke up one day and stopped about 1,000 times, because then I was drinking the next day. Like Mark Twain has that quote that's like, quitting smoking's easy, I do it every week, right? So that was me for a long time. But I got tired and I got worn down. And one day, it's kind of like sometimes you have to quit 100 times and then the 101st time sticks. Well, I was 35 and I quit and I called my mom. And I remember when I called my mom, that was like a big deal moment because I was like, I can't lie about it anymore because I've been protecting her and I hadn't really been telling her the truth. So it was a way of holding myself accountable. And yeah, I finally quit and it stuck. And it'll always be a little bit mysterious to me why that time stuck and the other times didn't. But I do know that I was really, really fed up with myself and I was really, really tired of failing myself. I don't know if you've ever tried to quit anything or you've ever been in a situation where you tell yourself you're going to do something but you don't do it and you just do again and again. You start losing faith in yourself. Anyway, I did finally quit. I had other reinforcements. I went into a 12-step program, which I was very much against for a long time, but I found that the experience of hearing other people's stories that were a lot like mine, that was something that really hooked me. I got really hooked on other people's stories. But I think all we want to do is connect to each other as human beings. And alcohol gives us an excuse and permission to connect and be ourselves. And why do we think that we need that permission? Why do we, I don't know what can be done or what should be done, and I'm just one person, and but I know that for me it's been really valuable to be reminded there are so many better ways to connect in the world, and there's so many better ways to feel free and liberated, and that is, I think when that becomes the only answer that you have for social things, for personal problems, for a bad day, for a good day, for a bored day, you're shutting out life.